Hey there everyone, welcome back to The Zone, the first episode of 2014, episode 20. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and got all what you wanted for Christmas, and you had a blast on New Year, and I hope you have had fun recovering. I have got a stinking cold, but we're going to soldier through and do some reviews. So today I've been given some nice products from the guys over at Roccat. I am very grateful for them to be able to give us this sort of product to give you guys a review on. I have here the Roccat Rios keyboard. This is the black switch version, as well as the Roccat Pure Optical Cone, the Cone Pure Optical Mouse. Here it is. So let me give you sort of a breakdown on what these are. The Rios, like I said, is a mechanical keyboard, so it is not a standardized membrane keyboard. Now, mechanical keyboards are starting to come into a lot of fashion recently in between gamers. They just the ability to hold multiple keys down and not have the keyboard fail on you is a massive plus side for these games these days, where they're required to press a lot of buttons at once. So that is a big plus. The Rios, like I say here, it comes in all versions of the keys. So you have brown, blue, red, and black. This is the black one. I personally am more of a brown switch fan, just the way the activation point is. And after using a brown switch keyboard for a long time, going to black is still a little bit weird. But nonetheless, it is still a very nice keyboard. So let's have a look at some of the features on the Rios. The Rios has 2 or 3 thumb keys, so say 3 thumb keys at the bottom on the wrist rest, which is here, as you can see. These 3 buttons here, these are essentially can be bound to anything. They can be bound in the drivers to absolutely anything you want. They can be bound to the F key, bound to the control key, bound to the Alt key, bound to be anything on the keyboard, which is really nice, and it does sort of make those games such as MMOs that require you to hold control 5, control 6 a lot easier on the hand. You just go thumb 6. Which is really nice, and that's a very cool feature for the MMO gamers. And you can even bind it for, like, say, CSGO for buying items in game. Now, one big downside to this keyboard is the size of it. If you ever see one in person, even in the video, if you can sort of see it, the keyboard is very big. The wrist rest is not detachable, so it just sort of is a completely solid unit, which makes it really robust and sturdy. But it takes up a lot of desk space. So if you've got quite a large desk, it's not as bad. But if you've got quite a small desk, you may have some issues with it. I mean, I've got a very medium-sized desk, and even then it takes up quite a bit of space. So, I mean, I'm a very big fan of the no numpad side of the keyboard, which is kind of what I use at home regularly. So, what about the Roccat Cone? Well, the Roccat Cone, here it is, again, I've been using for roughly about 6-7 months now. I've been using it for a long time. I got this a while back. For a different review, and I gotta say, this is a really nice mouse. I've enjoyed using it for the longest time I've been using it. The only thing I found with it really that is a bit weird is on the right hand side here. You can see there is a really odd kink. It is sort of kinks out a little bit, and if you use a very standardized mouse, it's very sort of like square. It is a bit of it does throw you off a little bit with your sort of your ring finger and your little finger. It doesn't quite feel as comfortable as it should. But after a while, you get used to it, and I mean, I've had no issues with it since I've been using it. Obviously, it is a optical mouse, so it has all the sort of optical laser, which is really nice and makes it nice and sort of smooth across most surfaces. I have found on more vibrant mouse mats that it does have some issues sort of detecting where the laser is, and it can sort of shake. I have had it where it's the mouse is sort of staying here and it's just shaking, like it's not going mad, just sort of very on the spot. You can see it move, but that's very light coloured mouse mats with very light yellows, greens, and sort of whites. And I'm using a very black blue mouse mat, so it sort of makes things a little bit easier. So you're probably asking what sets these apart from every other mouse and keyboard on the market. Well, from a standpoint of a keyboard to keyboard and a mouse to mouse, they are very similar to the standardized sort of format. There's not much else I can really sort of say that would sort of differ it from either other standardized product or just other product in general. But what really sets them apart is the Roccat drivers and the Roccat power grid. These are 2 really awesome sort of features that can really be linked to your phone or iPad or any sort of mobile device that actually allows you to control certain aspects of the keyboard and also set up timers or set up little parts of the application to run off using your keyboard. So you can actually have your keyboard, press a button and it will start a timer on the app, which is kind of cool, considering all this sort of stuff is now sort of becoming more wireless, which is quite interesting. I mean, the drivers as well have a really nice and easy to use sort of interface. It's really user friendly, and that's what really sets them apart from maybe other sort of products on the market right now. Is that their drivers are fantastic. So that about wraps us up for this review. Like I said, these two products are really nice products, high quality products, and I gotta say, Roccat have come on leaps and bounds in this in last year in 2013 with their products, and there's just so many of them now, which is really good, and there's something for everybody. So if you want to go and find out more about Roccat's products, head over to www.roccat.org, and you can find all their products on there, from all the ranges of mice they have, the keyboards, and even some headsets, which is really cool. And I'd also recommend checking out their new Power Grid app on iPhones, Android, and tablets. So guys, I now want to announce our first competition of 2014. The guys over at Roccat have kindly given us some product to give away to you guys. So without further ado, let's find out what you need to do to win these products. What you need to do, guys, is head over to eu.alienwarearena.com/thezone. Head over to the discussion threads. There will be a discussion thread for the competition, and you need to answer these 4 questions. First question: in the very first episode of The Zone, what gaming product does Panky wear and review? Okay, that's question 1. Question 2, in episode 13, Panky said the game Forced was similar to what game? Question 3, in episode 16, what is the first product Panky discusses? And the 4th and final question, throughout episodes 1 to 19, what is the electronic device in the center of Panky's shelf? So you guys need to head over to the discussion threads and answer those 4 questions. The questions will be in the discussion threads, so if you didn't quite catch them here, you can catch them on the discussion threads, where you can obviously talk about them and answer them out. And once we have answered those 4 questions, there will be a 5th and final question which will need to be answered, but that will be released at a later date. So head over to eu.alienwarearena.com/thezone and answer those questions if you want to be in with a chance to win yourself some Roccat gear. So this wraps up this first episode of The Zone for 2014. I hope you have enjoyed it, and enjoy your 2014, guys. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic year for gaming and technology. I cannot wait to see what the year brings. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next week.